Hello there, and welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Ungainly Titan. We're here on Fisherman's Bay, Encounter Mode, and I'm in the T-25-2, the American Tier 7 tank destroyer. I'm of the opinion that the most important location on the Fisherman's Bay map is that village on the rise to the north of us there, just west of the cap circle. That if you can dominate that village, you dominate the whole map, and you pretty much control the pace of the battle. And tank destroyers like the T-25-2 or the Hellcat or other tank destroyers like that are best off supporting the attack on that location by picking positions on the western side of the map that give them as much view range over the map as they can manage. The best place to project that view range is on the road up here, and find one of these bushes to park in, and there's some pretty good cover. And because the ground just to the north of the road is higher, you can duck back down if you're spotted. Now I picked this bush, and it's not one I think I normally use, and it's probably not the best one. I think the one to my right is probably better, or the one over there behind the Panther, or maybe just the other side of the little hill on the Panther, because I just don't quite have the gun depression to reach the lower ground in front of me from here without coming out of the bush. So we're waiting to see what enemy tanks come up. Usually they come over that village there to the north, or they start probing around the village there on the centre to my right. So a tank has appeared there on the western side of the map, and IS-2 heading down into the lower ground to come basically make an attack south. And I'm already running into trouble with gun depression. The slope is just a little too much, and I'm practically out of the bush at this stage. So I'm losing a lot of the cover from the bush. Don't have a clear sight on that T-29 until it comes out from behind the building, and we do 502 damage, which I think is the module damage perk kicking in, because I think that's well beyond my my high roll for this gun. So we managed to get a blind shot in, but there's a tank appearing on my left, popping up a T-20, and we have to get out of here. We're spotted. Get a shot into the T-20, but then I get tracked, and I pay very dearly for that tracking, because it slows me down and it allows two other shots to impact into my tank, removing more than half my health. So we're spotted. There's an IS-2 behind us that we saw earlier on. We put a round into him, and he puts one back into me, and we get another one in, damage his ammo rack. Now he's doomed. Now I don't think those two tanks made a good trade there. They did a bit of damage, but you know, they were weighted in among 3-4 enemy tanks, and they got taken out fairly quickly. So I'm coming back up onto the road, and I'm going to push forward here, because that might have been a few of the tanks that were up in the village. Certainly the more aggressive ones. So we spot an OI experimental there in the middle of the field, and we put a round into him. But we don't get to finish him off. Somebody else manages to finish him off. And a T-29 has appeared up in the village. Now I'm not sure what way the T-29 is angled. But from the way he turns now, he was probably angled actually. The back of the tank was on my left, the left side now, and an Ashorn has appeared. That Ashorn actually has remarkable look at the amount of misses that occur. Now it is of no use to him, because he never gets himself into a position where he can shoot, but just look at the amount of shots that actually miss as compared to the ones that hit him. Now he is eventually taken out before he's able to do anything. He really came around the building on the wrong side. He'd been better off pulling away from us rather than coming towards us. However, we're now 4 tanks up, and it's probably a good time to actually push forward, even though I have very low health. The Panther seems to be pushing forward, so I decided I'm going to take the chance and support him. If I leave him off on his own, he could get mobbed if there was 2 tanks up there. that would be more than he could handle in one go, whereas if I'm there at least, it gives him that extra shot, which could be the difference between life and death, and I might get a shot off as well, which would make a big difference as well. So I pop up here, there's two tanks in front of me, I get spotted straight away, but I managed to get a shot off before any returning fire comes my way. The Panther has continued up north on the low ground, and I need to get up now to support him. He's starting to engage the T-29, and a hold down T-29 is an extremely formidable tank, and he can't really go out and circle death the T-29 because those two medium tanks that I shot at earlier on are behind him, and they'd be putting fire into him as well. However, with the two of us here, we could keep the T-29, one of us could keep the T-29's attention occupied while the other one shoots at it. So I'm going to come up here onto the low ground, see if I can attract the attention of the T-29, or if he's looking the other way, take a shot at him. So I've been very careful, because if he's facing my direction, I'm a one-shot kill. And he is facing my direction, so that allows the Panther to put a shot into the T-29, and the T-29 is moving, and I completely messed that shot up. The artillery's decided to join in, which is another reason to keep moving, but the T-29 is now fixated on the Panther, almost as if he's mad at being shot at, and that gives me the opportunity to put a couple of rounds into him as well as the Panther, and we finish him off. So I'm getting in here behind the building because artillery was already paying attention to the area, and there's an enemy Panther. So I was lost the spot, and I was hoping to take advantage here, but at this point here I screw up big time. I came too close to the Panther, and to stop the Panther from getting hit I had to keep moving, which meant that I was now in front and an obvious target for a ram, because that guarantees the enemy Panther to kill. It pretty much costs him all his health pool though. He might have been better off if he actually kept his armor pointing at our Panther and used his gun to shoot me. But anyway, either way I'd probably have died. But the big mistake was coming too close to the allied Panther, not giving him the room to maneuver. I'd have been better off swinging to the left or moving, staying back further. But I suppose I just got a little bit too overeager and pushed forward just that bit too much. A bit too greedy for the kill. So anyway, we get a Confederate, first class mastery, 2.5k damage, which is pretty respectable, and we come second by experience. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you again soon.